Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to like night 6 I think we're on. Crazy to think that it's already been this long, and with each stream being like 2.5, 3 hours long, it's even crazier to think that we are getting past the prologue. I can't believe the prologue was that long first off to begin, so yes, anyways, welcome back. Hopefully no earthquakes tonight. We don't need any surprise intervention from Mother Nature. But with that being said, let's go ahead and begin. I found out what one of the issues was with the heart rate monitor is that the heart rate is going to be delayed, and I think that's just because the model that I'm using is cheap. So the number is slightly off and the heart rate's a little off. But you know what? It worked when it mattered most, and that was during the earthquake arc. So if it could at least go ahead and do that kind of decently well, I think it'll go ahead and keep up for the rest of it. So good enough for me. My heart rate will fall. It takes usually a little bit for this to stabilize, as you guys know. So yeah, let's go ahead and begin. So where we left off yesterday, of course, we went back in our timeline because our 3-day little time limit is up. And we are about ready to go ahead and take the Formuloni from the Professor Yuko of this timeline, who's actually a professor. It's been so long. All this fuss, the excitement in the air, that's about how I feel. It's so peaceful and calm here. There's not a shred of tension or anxiety anywhere. Being able to go through the motions like this again is making me insanely happy, and yet for some reason, it almost feels like it's too good to be true. I was so much happier the last time I came back into this world. Maybe I went through doing the coup. Maybe going through the coup actually did a number on my mental psyche. Sakaki, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, you three cut it close as usual. What? Is there something on my face? What's with you? Class rep's so soft-spoken and girlish in this world. She feels so much sweeter compared to the other one. Oh, maybe I'm thinking just because of how on edge she was during that coup. Why are you looking at me? It's not my fault we were nearly late. Actually, I guess the same goes for Maya now that I can get another look at her. In fact, the more I think about it, the more I feel that Maya resembles Shogun on a lot more than the other one does. Sure, they're both the same in her strength and the same nobility, but she's so much more gentle over here. Don't look at me like that. Good morning, everyone. I hope you recovered from Irma's death okay this timeline, Miki. Oh, good morning. You're still barely on time, though. Sorry about that. Well, look who decided to show on up. Kei-chan, good morning. The least you can do is greet us properly. Come on, class rep, let it slide just for once. I wonder if he's gonna call her a she in this timeline. Makoto, well, she's kind of a special case. She's a boy now, but otherwise, I think she's the most similar out of everyone. There's not really any glaring differences with Tama either, but over here she's like this picture of innocence. As for Ayamine, well, she's less gloomy. Tama, Ayamine, and Makoto all have a lot more baggage over there, though, and I know the rebellion is partially to blame for that. Man, hard to believe such a simple change in circumstances can affect a person's personality so much. I guess that's actually not too hard to believe at all. As much as I hate to admit it, this just proves that I'm so much more used to the other world. It's not these guys' fault that they're this way. And that's right. Comparing these guys to people who have been living in a world where humanity's on the brink of extinction because of an alien invasion, I'm the one who messed up here. It's just that, at this point, I don't know which one of these worlds is truly the normal one. Well, in any case, I can't come home for good until I save the other one, so I shouldn't waste any energy thinking about it. Talker, did you get taller? It feels like we haven't seen each other for like 3 years. Ha, that's a funny number. What are you talking about, Yoroi? You never make any sense. But seriously, doesn't he seem different? Like, did you get stranded on a desert island or something? Don't be stupid. We saw each other yesterday. At least I'm guessing we did. Is this Quantum Leap? It may as well be. Actually, I must say that I got the same impression earlier this morning. Would you just let that go already? Of course, forgive me, it is a trivial matter. Come to think of it, weren't you acting all weird a while back too? Don't make this harder on me. Remember when I was on my way home from shopping the other day? What day was that? I can't say I remember. What's your problem, man? You're not supposed to say sound effects out loud. Why are you guys ganging up on me? Is this some kind of new bullying tactic? I'm gonna tell on you. You're right, there is something off about him. Come on, now you're calling me weird too? Alright, already, I heard you. Just don't glare at me like that, huh? Uh-oh. Sorry, I didn't mean to. That's what I meant, Takaru. As I said before, you seem far more intimidating than usual. I suppose they say that even a short time away can change a man in some very surprising ways. You are clearly maturing with every passing day. I find it quite admirable. Would you quit talking in riddles? Alright guys, that's enough. Let's take our seats already. Okay, let's take our seats. Well, it seems we're kicking Monday morning off with my physics class, right, or what's it? That sounds like quite the plot. Yeah, that's the teacher. And now to throw a very specific subset of you down into the depths of despair. Here are the test results. I forgot that was today. This is when the hot spring trip was first suggested. Yeah. She told me to round up more people. Okay, I remember this now. Alright, so I'd like the following people to come up. Tanaka, Yamaguchi, Onishi. Oh, this takes me back. I can't believe I still remember all this. Actually, it feels like... Wait, it's coming back to me. Yoroi? Just like I remember. Is this what Yuko-sensei was talking about when she said my scattered memory data will come back to me if I could trigger it? And here it comes. My name. I already know your game. You're gonna sit there and stare at me and then call Shiroki's name instead. Huh? What happened to the dramatic pause? This sounds like quite the plot. I remember these faces well. What's going on? I was so sure I'd remembered that little exchange perfectly. Because they showed more improvement than anyone else. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Especially Roy. 3 digits! A full 100%. How great is that? By the way, you got a bone to pick with Setogashima? That's right. The test had a story problem about destroying Setogashima. That's a rather interesting coincidence. In the other world, there's a beta hive on Setogashima, so the other Yuko would love to blow it up. I should tell her this when I get back. She might actually laugh. Alright class, a round of applause. So, yes. Come straight to the physics prep room when this is over. Right? After this period? I thought it was during lunch break. I assume you'd rather not make a scene out in front of everyone. What do you mean by that? It means I personally wouldn't mind dragging you out of here right this second. That'd be pretty convenient for me too. That's what you get for not studying. It is said that one reaps what one sows. I still don't get it though. I know these memories are over 3 years old, so I don't expect them to be 100%. But why would they suddenly come back to me so vividly if they were wrong? I was almost positive that it meant I'd recover some sort of more scattered memory data like Yuko had suggested, but... Looks like his back's against the wall. And I was powerless to present this. A shame. This is the face of a man stricken with grief. Remember it well, everyone. Not this again. That's an interesting reaction. Nope, don't mind me. Alright, off to the physics prep room. This isn't how I remember it happening, but I'm not complaining. The quicker I get this done, less strain on cost me. We've got no idea where Alternative 5 is going to be enacted, so I guess every little second counts. Class rep? I know she's not the same class rep as the other one. It was easier this morning since we were all together, but now it's just the two of us. I don't know what to say. I can't even imagine what she was going through when she first found out her father was murdered. And the worst part is he was killed by another Japanese citizen. She's definitely going to be put in a tough position. I wonder what's going on in her head right now, back in the other world. Don't just burst out into the hall, you're going to hurt someone. Sorry, are you alright? It just startled me is all, no big deal. I'll be more careful again, sorry. Come on, class rep. Yuko asked me to go see her. I'm sure you're aware. Yikes, there really is something off about you today. Really? This again? This isn't a good sign. I've been trying my best to act natural, but I don't know. It's just to act all lighthearted when I can't help but compare this world to the other one. Not to mention that this is all 3 years in the past for me, so I could just revert it to being my old dead self again. Kozuki's waiting for you. Go get ready. Right, sorry. It's fine. I just don't want you glaring at me like that again. I'll tell the teacher why you're gone before the next period starts. Thank you. Ayamine. I know I can't be like this. I really do, but... Playing hooky? I know where you're going. Now you're smarter than your look. Yeah, you missed a lot. There is like 30 hours of plot that you were missing, my friend. TLDR, we're jumping between timelines between an alien invasion and an everyday high school. Her father was murdered in the alien invasion timeline. Even something as simple as a test question about Sadogashima sets my mind racing. In this world, Class Rep and Ayamine just don't get along, and that's that. But after what happened to the other world, their relationship goes far deeper than a simple feud. Are you looking to skip Class 2? Right, what a smart one you are. Well, not like they're ever going to use most of the stuff they teach us out here in the real world anyway. We only need to know all the stuff that applies to whatever profession we choose, although we're pretty lucky that there are so many options open. What's wrong? You sick? I'm peachy. All vital signs normal? Why is your hand on my forehead? Yeah, Back to the Future with aliens could be a fever. My temperature's fine, and I'm not sleep deprived either. There's no reason for me to be sick. Guessing you're headed up to the roof. Try not to cut class, alright? Sure thing, Chief. See ya. Knock knock. There you are. Hey, it's me. As I could see. So I'm here for, you know. Alright, here you go. A flimsy piece of fabric? What is this? Marimo's winter costume. You want to see it too? I'll pass. I don't have time. And what do you want? It's me from the other world. I came to retrieve what I asked for last time. I know that. Why do you think I called you? You're in such a hurry. Oh, she must have noticed how somehow during class. So no wonder stuff happened differently this time. In that case, the whole theory about scattered memories might have hold water. Looks like you finally become a master at this. Beg your pardon? I think you've completely merged with the other Shirogane. How long are you here for this time? 15 to 18 hours. Full 24 is pushing it, though. Sensei? What the hell? What's gotten into her? That's what I'm talking about. I've outdone myself. What the? Okay, here you go. Paper? Seriously? What, you got some sort of better idea? This is the most reliable format. This is a fat stack of paper, though. This took forever to print out, I'll have you know. The copy had a paper jam, then it had to be refilled, then it ran out of toner, then that baldy vice principal threw a fit. Probably because you were printing personal stuff on school's money. Look at all this. 50,000 pages, so to be fair, I did have you do all the printing. You did? Why wouldn't I? It's your problem to begin with. Oh wait, that's right. I totally remember doing that now. So I have myself to blame. What a nightmare that was. I guess in the end it was for the good of mankind. Which means this is the result of your own blood, sweat, and tears, so quit complaining. Take it. I mean, if this is what it takes to see all 4's completion, do I need to take the rest of the file too? I'm holding 100 pages. Didn't you say there's 49,900 more? Oh, that's for something else. I knew it. She was using me to do her dirty work. 100 of the pages I suffered for would have helped save an alternate dimension? Sorry, other mate. Sorry to screw you over. Well, that's that. By the way, I see you're Shirogane Takeru this time. Yes? From this world, I mean. Because I still have this. She's the one who wrote Shirogane Takeru on the palm of my hand like I'm in kindergarten. That's right. You said something about there being 2 of you, right? Yeah, but apparently that was due to some kind of output problem with the device we were using. So there's no point in branding you after all? I guess not. Though to be honest, it probably would have been bad news if all we had to do to tell its part was the... Wow, you're still muscular. How intriguing. I wonder how the differences get balanced out when you combine them. Maybe it's something to do with like strength of willpower or something? This means that you still undergo both physical and mental changes independent of how your observer perceives you. I should go get some medical opinions on the extent that might fluctuate. I almost don't want you to go back to your timeline. I got places to be, you know. Only joking. It's not like I could stop you. Even running you over wouldn't kill you. I think I'd still die. But in all seriousness, who would have thought I'd find the inspiration for something so useful and something so mundane? What are you talking about? I thought I told you before. I came up on this after playing some obscure RPG on the PlayStation 2. Right. This goes to show how a real genius can find inspiration in the most trivial of things. I definitely wouldn't have thought a video game would save a parallel universe. I mean, video games don't care about in that timeline. Is that really such a crucial difference? I guess it would be. Even the game guy had a huge influence over there. Next time, make sure you've got something even more interesting to tell me. I'll try, assuming there is a next time. Okay, I'll see you around then. Someday I'll come back here for good. That's the plan. If after I save the other world, I'm sure Yuka will still find a way to get me home, right? Well then, until then. Yeah, thank you again. Alrighty. I've completed my objective, so what now? Go back to class? If everyone could tell there's something off about me, should I stick around? Even if I play dumb about it, there's no telling the ripple effects that this could have now. I think I should just go home. You're gonna skip class today, Takaru. Something the matter? No, I'm just... Are you feeling unwell? I could bring in a medical team. No, really, it's nothing like that, don't worry. Have you noticed I'm not myself today? Is something the matter? I'll be back to normal by tomorrow. What do you mean? I just want to be left alone today. But I can't just simply turn a blind eye. Please? It is often said that eyes hold truth the mouth cannot speak. I shall do as you ask. Thank you very much. Alright, now what should I do to kill some time? Manga? Not really in the mood. Game guy? Not too appealing either. Not even forced to live so long without entertainment. I don't even know if I miss them. That being said, I know I'd cracked open a volume right now. I'd probably get sucked back into manga. It's so weird to think she's just next door. You never really notice how important someone is to you when they're right by your side. But that's a no-brainer, right? Everyone knows that. When I first realized how serious she was about me and I felt the same way, I wanted to hold her tight and never let go. The only reason I didn't wrap her up in my arms every time I see her is because of how well she's hiding the way she feels. She's dumb. If it weren't for that, I think I would have realized my own feelings so much sooner. Up until about 3 years ago, she and I used to talk to each other through these windows every night. I didn't lose my manga collection and my game guy. My entire world... I didn't lose just my manga collection and the game guy. My world changed. And now that I've learned to live without all of this, I don't think about it anymore. But that doesn't mean I'm okay. If I never read another manga or play another video game, I could deal with that. But I hate that we lost these conversations. I hate that we've lost the closeness that we've always had. And this stack of papers is going to help me get that back. All I need is my own willpower and a little help from home. This will all be mine again. I've got to believe I have a strong will and I can get it all back. Oh, well, hey. Sorry, were you asleep? Oh, come on. What else would I be doing when the lights were off? Are you feeling okay? Huh? The maid said you haven't been getting much sleep lately. Oh, the three idiots. Sounds like you really did study for your test after all. No duh, I just work best under pressure, you know? I guess you do. So hey, Sumika? Would it be alright for me to just go over there, like right now? I'm pretty sure I can make the jump from my window, but... Takaru, what is that? That big stack of paper. This? Right, I cannot take any chances. Letting go of it is not an option. She said 18 hours, but I don't know when I'll exactly be able to go back. You see, Sumika, this is a walkthrough. It's how to beat the final boss. So it's for one of your games? Is that really the real reason you're not getting any sleep? No, it's actually not. Though I get why you could definitely assume that.
やっぱりどっか変だ。
You really are weird today.
たけるちゃん、なんか違うっていうか。
Something feels different about you, and it's weirding me out. Really?
そうだよ。今だってそう。ノリが違うっていうか。具体的に言うと、かなり違う。
Even right now, you're acting different. Well, really different, to be precise. You call that precise?
とにかくなんか違うんだよ。変。
All I'm saying is there's something different about you, and it's really weird. Well, I can't exactly respond to that. So you think I've been acting weird, huh?
変だよ。今日、この間もそうだったし。
Yeah, ever since this morning. You were like this the other day too, though. Well, try to cut me some slack, alright? It kind of hurts to hear you say that, if I'm gonna be completely honest. You're the last person I want thinking I'm weird.
ごめん。
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that.
何かあるなら。
If something's bugging you, you know you could just tell me. It's fine, nothing's
た
bugging
け
me.
るちゃん、嘘言った。
Don't lie to me, huh?
今、ほんのちょっと視線泳いだもん。
You looked away when you said that.
ほら、引っかかった。図星だね。
See, you did it again. I caught you red-handed. You're being a real twerp right now, even by your standards.
私に言っても。
Is it something I wouldn't understand? Could you imagine?
お
Could you imagine a world in which I wasn't by your side?
え
Never mind. No, just forget it.
たけるちゃんがそばにいないのは
No,
嫌だな。
but I don't want you going anywhere. Well, I see.
たけるちゃんは
What about you? Huh?
私がそばにいないのってどうなのかな。
What would you do if I wasn't here anymore? I guess I'd
言ってよ。
spit it out. Don't say
早
that.
く早く。
Didn't I tell you before? I can't imagine living without you.
それって本当のところどういう意味？
So what exactly are you trying to say? I love you. If I were to say that right now, everything would change. But in doing so, I could also lock myself into a future in which we could never be together. Even I could figure that out. You should just get sleep. It's getting cold.
たけるちゃんと怪しい会話をしたって日記に書いてやる。
I'm gonna write in my diary I had a weird conversation with you. Please, do not do that.
恥ずかしいんだ。だったら絶対書くね。
Look how embarrassed you are. Now I'm definitely gonna write about it. Whatever. Suit yourself.
する。
Yep. Guess I'll see you tomorrow then.
早く元気になってね。
Okay, hope you feel better. I'll be as good as new in the
じゃ
morning.
あ、おやすみ。
Okay, good night. See you tomorrow. I won't be the same me tomorrow. I don't want to stop. I really wish I can keep talking to you for hours on end. You have no idea how much I hate not having you by my side. What time is it? I'll be back into the world within the next few hours, but I'll be coming back as soon as this is all over. I'm gonna come back here, where I belong. Sorry to disturb your nap. Where am I? Did I make it back? Kept trying to take this from you, but you wouldn't let go. Ah, the documents. Well, I guess I should commend you for having the willpower to hold them tight even in your sleep. What's the current date and time? It would be December 9th, 14 minutes after midnight. You got back about a half an hour ago. Guess I must have already been asleep. Now give it to me. I need to look through it right away. Sure thing. What do you think? Is it gonna... This is it! This is what I've been meaning to say! Why are you hugging me? She gave me exactly what I wanted. Man, I know myself so well. Come on, you stop. You're rubbing against me. You're acting like a little kid in a candy shop. And no ordinary person could ever understand this stuff. Only I can. This is perfect. What the... Was she gonna try and kiss me? What? What the hell was that about? I feel like I got lipstick on my cheek now. Good to know I can always count on her to act the same way in both worlds. Sheesh.
ごめんなさいね。あんまり嬉しいんで、年下なんかに手を出しちゃった。
Sorry, I got so excited I forgot about my grown men only policy. Yeah, excuse me for not living up to your standards.
私って年下に本気になれない性格だから欲情しないでね。
I'm not really into younger guys. Keep it in your pants, yeah? What are you talking about?
その割には男全開なのね。
Ask your lower half. What are you looking at?
まあいいわ。顔拭いておいた方がいいわよ。そのまま歩くと独り身の兵士に恨まれるから。
Whatever. But do wipe that off your face, though. Our lonely soldiers will rip you to shreds. Yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. You ever thought I'd be caught dead walking down the hall? Sheesh, I didn't think she'd be that happy about it. I've never seen her so elated in my life. So now you'll be able to complete the research, right?
そうよ。これで00ユニットが完成する。
That would be correct. With this, I could put the finishing touches on Unit 00. And once 00 is complete, Alternative 4 can finally finish. That should nip Alternative 5 in the bud. We can now change the
必要な
future.
ものはすべて揃ったわ。
I've got everything I need now, so then...
ええ、あなたのおかげよ。
Yep, it's all thanks to you.
あんたはこの世界の英雄よ。
The savior of the world. That's right, I changed everything. I saw that awful future, so I tried to change it, and even I went back to my own world to do it. If I wasn't here, this world would just repeat that same future, but I've
これ
changed
で
it.
特殊任務からは解放ね。
Our special mission is hereby complete.
あんたも部屋のベッドでゆっくり眠りなさい。
Head up to your room, get some well-deserved rest. Will do, though I did kind of get a lot of sleep in the other world.
自分で思っているよりは疲れていると思うわ。簡単に言うと、向こうのあなたの体に
You're probably more
いくらか
exhausted than you
体力を置
think.
いてきたはず
You left most of that stamina behind in your other body.
お疲れ様。ヤシロはすでに部屋に戻ってるか
Have
ら
a good night then. Yashiro's here already there, so be careful not to wake her. Okay, night. There she is, like a kid, or sleeping like a baby. But if it weren't for her hard work, I could have never made it back. Thank you, Kasumi. It's only me. I'm just gonna go back to sleep, alright? Good morning.
おはよ
Yeah, good morning to you.
う。いってらっしゃい。
Have a nice day. What? Oh, we're done with the experiments, aren't we? Which means I'm back to my old 8 o'clock? I slept through morning roll? After a single day there, my stamina's...
大丈夫。
It's fine. Huh?
9時に行動集合です。
You're assembling in the auditorium at 9. The auditorium? Did something happen? I didn't hear anything special was planned for
覚えてい
today.
ないんですか？
You don't remember? No?
覚えていないんですね。
You don't? To be honest, I was drawing a total blank. I guess we'll find out soon enough what they want. Hopefully it's not to chew me out for oversleeping, but I don't think they'd call everyone at the auditorium for that. It sucks not having memory of this, I'm sure. You think I could do remember if I tried hard enough? Or do I just not know at all?
わかりません。ないイメージは読めません。
I don't know. I can't read an image that's not there. Do you want to come get breakfast?
今はいいです。
I'm fine for now. Well, I'll see you later
バ
then.
イバイ。
Yeah, bye. Hey there, class rep. You're gonna bump into me.
白金。
Come on, watch where you're going. You almost spilled your tray all over
ごめ
me.
んなさい。
I'm sorry. I can't blame her. She's a tough cookie, but she just lost her father. That's something you just brush off. No matter how hard she tries to pretend she's okay, it's gonna catch up to her eventually. But even with that somber look on her face, you can still see the traces of her signature stone-faced expression. She's definitely a far cry from the girl I know in my world.
何？じっと見たりして。
What? Why are you staring at me? Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and edit the heart monitor a little bit. Sorry if the number starts doing weird things. Why are you staring at me? Oh, I was just thinking about how I'm way more used to this version of you now.
Eh?
Nothing. So, where is everyone?
知らないわ。あれから満足に顔合わせていないの。
No clue. I haven't seen them over the past few days. I see. Ah, Tama.
たけるさんと榊さん。
Tukaru and Sakaki?
おはよ
Good morning.
う。
Yeah, good morning. Is it just you, Tama?
うん。
Where's everyone else?
みつるぎさんもあやみねさんももうご飯は食べちゃったみたい。
Mitsurugi and Ayamine already ate.
よろいさんは
And you're always
大
still...
丈夫よ。きっと。
She'll be fine, I'm sure of it. Yeah. Anyway, we're supposed to be somewhere at 9, right? We better eat fast and head over.
そうね。
You're right. Do either of you know what's going
何
on?
があるのか知ってる？
Nope.
知らない。
Me neither. This takes me back. I haven't been to my auditorium since I took the enlistment oath. What do they even use this place for? Us surface spies can't do training in here. Maybe they use it for the drill mechanics? I doubt it. Oh, hey, Maya.
タケルか。特殊任務はもういいのか？
Doc, are you done with your special mission? Yeah, as of
そうい
yesterday.
えばそんなことしてたんだっけ？
Right, you were on some kind of secret mission, weren't you? What?
忘れてたね。
Sounds like she forgot. Well, enough about that, so what gives? Too cool to eat with us?
ああ、許すがよい。こたびの呼び出し、妙に気持ちが落ち着かぬのだ。
Right, forgive me. The summons just has me feeling unusually apprehensive. Why is that?
何故であろうな。
I do not know, though I wish I did. You just got a painful reminder of how exactly much weight there is on your shoulders, and so far you have been holding up beautifully. It's understandable that you don't know how to express your emotions right now. I sure as hell wouldn't. But I can understand how awkward that must make you feel. And I understand how impossible it is to explain that to anyone else.
じきに落ち着くであろう。許すがよいぞ。
I'll compose myself. Forgive me. Don't worry about it.
おやみねさんだ。
Oh, look, it's Ayamine. Hey.
よ
Hey. I did just see her back in my world, so maybe that's thrown off my frame of reference, but I'm still picking up very gloomy vibes. It's only been a few days since the incident, and there's no way she's already over all that stuff that just happened with Captain Sagari. Of course, there's not really like a lot I could do about it. I guess she'll just have to keep trying to interact with her like I always have. Sorry about that, trying to fix the monitor again, it keeps slipping. It's up to Ayamine to come to terms with it. I should just mind my own
どう
business.
した？
What? Oh, nothing. You hanging in there?
何が？
What do you mean? Never mind.
きっと大丈夫。
I'll be fine. You sure?
うん。
Mm-hmm.
心配かけた？
Were you worried? Kind of,
な
yeah.
ら平気。
Well, don't be. I can't actually read her, not that I ever could. So why do you think they call us here anyway? It doesn't look like anyone else is coming. Were we the only ones called out here? What's the point of bringing a single squad into a huge auditorium? Is this some sort of punishment? I mean, I did disobey Major Walken's order to administer triaslum, but there's no way that's the reason. And I can't imagine they call us here just to send us to the detention barracks. You have no idea. Makoto? Hey guys.
鎧。
戻ってきたんだね。
You're back, you Geneva Convention violator.
ただいま。
Guess I am.
Yo,
Good to see you.
ありがとう、みんな。
Thanks, guys.
よかった。
Glad you're back.
うん。
Me too. Makoto has no idea whether or not her father is safe, so hearing people talk about her while being alone must have been pretty difficult. But no one knows Chief Yoroi, so that's the most they could say. Makoto understands that full well, so she ends up being nice and grateful to them. I would have been giving her the same reaction if I didn't know all that behind-the-scenes stuff. And in the end, I guess all we could do is try to help console each other as much as possible. Music, stop. Attention!
正体、整列。
New character on the left. The base commander? That's Radabinabud, or whatever his name is. Is Alternative 5 happening? No, I changed the future. I've recovered the equations.
ラダビノッド司令官に対し。
Red Habinod. Besides, there's that announcement that happened on Christmas Day. There's no way it was meddling with my history, right? And who's that guy? Yeah, he looks like a captain? What the hell? At ease. I know this is rather sudden, but we will now commence the graduation ceremony for the 207th Cadet Flight of UN Pacific 11th Yokohama Base. Graduation ceremony, but that means the base CEO will now make his address. At ease. Uh-oh.
諸君の門出を盛大に祝ってやりたいところではあるが
sorry, Mr. Man. The day as a cadet completes their training and earns their commission is one worthy of celebration. And while we truly would like to give you the grand send-off, in light of recent events, we would rather not disrespect the Japanese people. We're being commissioned. We've done our training! Now more than ever, the world is in need of you brave young warriors. To be certain, we need to have soldiers and commanders with rich combat experience if we were to ever win this war. We finally made it. But there is something else we need. Namely, the wholehearted belief that victory will be ours. Young soldiers, fear not failure as you perform to the best of your ability. However tragic the hand you were dealt, never fall victim to despair. Your unyielding faith in our victory is your single greatest weapon. Humanity is in the midst of an unprecedented crisis, and the tides of war are never in our favor. But that is all the more reason to remain steadfast in this belief. From the moment we give in, we will be forever lost. For the first time in human history, we share a common bond on this earth. A fundamental bond which defies us as a species, surpassing all political, religious, and ethnic divisions. The same red blood flows through our veins. Think of your neighbors, those around you. It is now up to you to ensure they live to see tomorrow. Change never occurs through inaction. You must risk your lives. I would imagine that after your previous operation, you all know too well the kind of strength it takes to do this. Let history be the judge as to the righteousness of our actions. For now, all we can do is trust in our beliefs. And fight with all of our strength to regain humanity's grasp on the future. We must ensure that mankind's long and vibrant history is passed down for the sake of future generations. This is the single most important duty entrusted to us. Young cadets of our 207 Training Corps, I have every confidence that you believe in the same form of justice I do. And as of today, you've earned the right to stand on the front lines of surface pilots in the UN military. Reflect upon and honor that and what a privilege that is. Hold fast to your convictions and use every ounce of your strength to seize the victory in the future that are rightfully ours. The pride you feel in this moment is my pride as well. The pride of every Japanese citizen. The pride of all mankind. Look at your hands. What will you seize? What will you protect with those hands? Now clench your fists. What will you destroy with them? What will you defeat with them? In closing, while this may all be unheard of, we have received a message for you in honor of commissioning. Unheard of? Take to heart this congratulatory letter from the Imperial Shogun of Japan herself, Her Highness Kobun Yuhi. She wrote a letter? You have endured many hardships as a... It is a cutscene. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the music back to normal.
嬉しく思います。しかし、いくつもの命の散り、二度と帰らぬものとなったことは悲しく、我が身を裂かれるような思いです。願わくば、天に召されし彼らの御霊が安らかならんことを。先人たちは、この国と民を愛し慈しみ、それが流らえることを願ってきました。その先人の思いは、この地に暮らすすべての人に託されているのです。その思いを果たすことが、今の世において並々ならぬことではございましょう。しかし、一人一人がなすべきことをなし、総国を乗り越え、力を合わせるとき、果たさざるものなどありはしないでしょう。皆様が正しき道を歩まれんことを切に願います。そして我が心は、いかなる時もそなたたちと共にあります。
少年に際し、殿下よりお言葉を賜るという名誉は、
You all have performed admirably, earning the auspicious honor of having your promotion acknowledged by the Highness directly. The last part was probably written especially for Maya. And I will also add that the deciding factor in granting you this promotion was our acknowledgement of your brilliant contributions to the success rescue of the Shogun, and that is all. Oh yeah, I'm gonna present you with your surface pilot wings. Your Highness, I won't make the same mistake twice. This won't happen again. We've got to live everything now we have to prevent that. And I'm the one who's obtained the missing piece with my own two hands. Won't be long before there's no need to cower in fear of the enemy or for humans to fight amongst themselves. The day is coming sooner, just wait. As of today, you are surface pilot of the UN military. Congrats, Second Lieutenant. Now every one of us is a commissioned officer. Real TSF pilots. No wonder Cosme came up empty-handed earlier. I wouldn't have had any memories like this. We didn't get a ceremony. We just got like a brief directive. Of course, that was after Alt 5 had already been put into effect and Marimo and Yuko had both left. After that, we spent most of our time just guarding the facility. But who cares about that stuff anymore? We're being promoted right here, right now. That's what matters. In order to change the feature, I need to make sure Alternative 4 is completed by the 24th, while also earning myself a higher rank. One of those two is done. One of our biggest hurdles is now accomplished.
ありがとうございます。
白金健訓練兵。ただいまをもって機関は国連軍英士となった。おめでとう、少尉。
He pinned an aviator badge to my chest. I am now a real TSF pilot. You know, I never got to feel the weight of these silver wings last time, but I'm going to wear these things with pride. Commander. Lieutenant, you're supposed to salute. Oh, pardon me, sir. Sorry. Uh-oh, Marimo is not looking happy. She's going to tear me a new one. All insignia have been presented. Don't let us down. This concludes the graduation ceremony for the 207th flight of the UN Pacific's 11th Yokohama-based TSF Academy. Cadet Squad 207 dismissed. Marimo left with the commander? Oh, shoot. Assemble in the briefing room at 1300. Oh, never mind. I thought we were jumping straight into Mad Lad territory. Explanations regarding your new unit assignments, how to procure your uniforms, and the other logistical details will be provided. Oh, I guess that's right. We aren't 207 anymore, so there's no reason for Marimo to be with us. This is the last day where we're going to wear these white training academy uniforms. The ones that look identical to my old Harukio ones. We're finally surface pilots. Well done, everyone. We've persevered. I don't think she means that in terms of our training. Maya feels the same way about the coup as the Highness does, and now she could finally tell people how proud she is. Maya, so have you. We all worked hard, didn't we? That's right, we all worked together to make it this far. True that. Thank you, everyone. Chizuru, don't say that. I'm the one who should be thanking you guys. Thank you guys. Thanks, Every. Miki, don't cry, you should be happy. I would say the same. You all have my deepest gratitude. After the last CCSE, Suzumiya's squad got promoted with these guys left behind, so they've got to be thrilled. If I remember right, Marimo said their individual abilities were better but teamwork was bad. But now that I think about it, even if everyone had passed the previous CCSE, they would have been held back for political reasons. I don't think they would have been allowed to graduate after all. For us to get promoted out of the blue after the coup, it just seems too good to be true. Maybe someone out there decided our squad had outlived its usefulness as a bargaining chip.
その犠牲を無駄にするようなことはしないさ。その犠牲を最大限に生かす方法とタイミングは十分心得ているつもりだよ。
I'll let it slide for now. We've been commissioned, and these experiments were successful enough to retrieve the theory, and we've proven the new OS. What more could I ask for? I've clearly been changing the world's future for the better, at least distancing us from the timeline in which humanity abandons Earth, forcing those left behind to launch a suicide attack. Plus, we've all been pretty awkward around each other since the coup attempt, understandably enough, but this gave us just the opportunity to be ourselves. Sure, Squad 207B is going to be broken up, but we all have new missions waiting for us. We gotta go open up to one another one last time before going our separate ways. Thank you, Shirogane. Your enlistment gave us all the strength to improve, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you. Sorry for giving you so much flack. Keep up the good work. I feel like in a lot of ways you're going to be even stronger than once you finished mourning your father's death. You're going to be a leader before you know it, just like you said you would in the previous timeline. Hopefully you can clean up this political mess, make sure no incidents happen like this again. Come on, Tama, you're going to dry up if you keep crying like that. Thank you, Tama. You've got such a talent and grit, you could shoot down an HSST falling at supersonic speed beyond the horizon. For everyone's sake, put the sniping skills to use, eh?
急な任官でびっくりしたけど、
I can't believe how sudden this is. Yeah, neither can I.
タケル、今まで本当にありがとう。
Doctor, thank you for everything. I've got a lot to thank you for, too. When I got bitten by that snake, you did everything you could to take care of me, even though I treated you
ま
terribly.
た同じ部隊に配属されるといいね。
Would be nice if we got assigned to the same unit. Here's hoping, eh? Your dad's missing. I have no idea what sort of things the military police asked you. The fact that you can be so bright and cheery under these circumstances is amazing, especially in a world this grim. Don't lose that. You'd better make your new comrades get a share of your cheer as well. And Ayamine? Sorry for pressuring you so much and for bugging you. And I'm sorry for suspecting you of espionage. Rather uncool.
本当は感謝してる。
I owe you big time. Well, I appreciate it. You're the girl that bottled up everything about Sagari, your father, and went out there with guns blazing. You'll find closure someday. But I think you do well to rely on your comrades a little more. Just advice. Take care.
白金もね。
You too, Shirogane.
タケル、
Hey, thank you for all your help.
何を言う？
What are you saying? You taught me so much even though I could never repay the favor, so I'm grateful. Thanks to you and Her Highness, I overcame my doubts. I'm not sure if my level of resolve qualifies as a pillar of strength, but seeing you put your life on the line to carry out your duty gave me a lot of courage. I know we have our differences in the way we think about the world, but I still admire you a
そなた
ton.
は立派な男だ。
You truly astound me. What?
私はそなたのように強くありたい。
I hope that one day I can be as strong as you. Thank you. That means a lot coming from
配
you.
属はまだわからぬが、達者でな。
I know we don't know our assignment yet, but I do wish you the very best. You too. The real fight starts now. This is just the beginning. The old me might have shed a tear over this, but I'm not going to be soft anymore. Alright guys, we got to be done with lunch by 1300. And there's still one last order of business to take care of.
神宮寺軍曹、あなたには大変お世話になりました。
Sergeant Jaguji, we're in your debt.
ご承認おめでとうございます、少尉殿。武運長久をお祈りいたしております。
Congratulations on promotion, Lieutenant. May the winds of fortune be ever at your back.
このご恩、決して忘れません。
We'll never forget all that you've done
お
for
気を
us.
つけください、少尉殿。私は下士官です。
Relax,
丁寧
Lieutenant.
な言葉をお使いいただくにあたりま
I'm
す。
a non-commissioned officer. Shouldn't be speaking to me that formally. Now that we're second lieutenants, we outrank Marimo. I guess that's just how the system works. So much more complicated than that for me, though. There's so many emotions welling up, I can't even put it into words. In the previous timeline, our promotions were just measly scraps of paper. I've never experienced this before. Plus, by that point, Marimo, Yuko, Miss Kiyozuka, the CEO, they were all gone. Maybe that's why I'm so emotional about it now.
機関の連成に心より感謝する。
You have my heartfelt gratitude for all you've taught us.
ご承認おめでとうございます、少尉殿。
Congratulations on promotion, Lieutenant.
機関の教えと栄えある 207A 士訓練小隊の名を汚さぬよう、戦場においても精進し、
I shall be diligent in my role as a defender of humanity on the battlefield, as to not neglect your teachings and sully the name of Cadet Squad 207.
身に余る光栄です。武運長久をお祈りしております。
Ma'am, your words do me a great honor. May the winds of fortune be ever at your back.
どうかご創建であれ。
I only ask you remain to be in good health.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
神宮寺教官、私をここまで育てていただいたこと、とても感謝しています。
Instructor Jinkushi, I'm so grateful for everything you've done to help me become who I am today.
私はもうあなたの教官ではありません。
Lieutenant, I'm not your instructor.
失礼しました。
My
お詫びいただく
apologies.
必要もありません。何はともあれ、ご承認おめでとうございます。
You don't need to apologize either. Regardless, congratulations on your
あり
promotion.
がとうございます。いや、ありがとう、軍曹。
My sincerest, thank you, Sergeant.
武運長久をお祈りしております、少尉殿。
May the winds of fortune be ever at your back,
軍
Lieutenant.
曹もお元気で。
Take care too,
あり
Sergeant.
がとうございます。
Thank you very much.
軍曹の尽力に感謝する。
Thanks for everything, Sergeant.
ご承認おめでとうございます、少尉殿。
Congratulations on your
武
promotion,
運長
Lieutenant.
久をお祈りいたしております。
May the winds of fortune be ever at your back. No, Bible thumb.
ありがとうございます。
Lieutenant, thank you very much.
ご承認おめでとうございます、少尉殿。
Congratulations on your promotion,
お祈り
Lieutenant.
いたしております。
May the winds of fortune be ever at your back.
少尉殿、
Lieutenant,
お気持ちは十分いただきました。さあ、もうお行きくださ
I
い。
understand how you feel. Go join the others. Thank you for everything.
ご承認おめでとうございます、少尉殿。
Congratulations on your promotion,
お
Lieutenant.
祈りいたしております。
May the winds of fortune be ever at your back. Being your pupil is an honor I'll take pride in for the rest of my life. I owe everything I am now to you.
光栄です、少尉殿。ですが、少尉殿は元より傑物でした。
I'm honored, Lieutenant, but you're exceptional to
私
begin
は
with.
何も益しておりま
I've
せ
done
ん。
nothing. That's not true. You made a man out of me in the previous timeline. Back when I was a weakling who spent all my time complaining and couldn't do anything right, it was all you. You were the one who raised me into the proper CSF pilot standing here today. And while my memories are still spotty, I'm sure you helped me with something incredibly important after Alt 5 was enacted too. I'm going to see Alt 4 to completion no matter what it takes. I'm going to save mankind. And without your training, that wouldn't even have been somewhat possible. I've only done this well because of you. If only I could tell her that all of that. If only I could tell her how grateful I am. Say what you will. But as far as I'm concerned, I owe everything to you, Marimo. I can't believe I just shouted Marimo at the top of my lungs. Not to mention, I probably sound like a complete lunatic right
少
now.
尉
Lieutenant?
殿、お望みであればマリモちゃんでも構いませんが、軍機上神宮寺軍曹とお呼びいただくことが
If you really want to,
望
you
ましい
can
と
call me
思われます
Marimo. But given military regulations, wouldn't it be more appropriate to call me Sergeant Gucci? I'll think about it.
よろしくお願いいたします、少尉殿。
Please do, Lieutenant. See you in a bit then.
という手順となります。以上で国連軍 C 型軍曹の受領についての説明を終わります。
Which is the procedure we will be following, and at that, you should all be able to know how to require your Type C UN
補足
military
ですが、
uniforms.
皆さんの承認は急遽決まりましたので、各種軍曹の手配が間に合っておりません。
However, in this weird particular case, your promotions were approved so suddenly your uniforms have not been procured
正
yet.
式配備までには間に合うよう動いておりますので、今しばらく候補生の白い軍曹をお召しく
We're
ださい。
working to ensure that they arrive before your official reassignment, but for now, please continue to wear your white cadet
以上、
uniforms.
何かご不明な点、または質問がある方を
That is all. If you'd like to clarify anything or have any further questions, there were some waterworks at the ceremony earlier, but now everyone's too focused on exchanging their fortified suits and getting their black uniforms to waste time getting emotional. Though, considering we were able to exchange our fortified suits immediately, I don't really know why our basic uniforms are going to not be here for a while. I guess that just goes to show how sudden this promotion was. I suppose this whole Type C uniforms do need to be custom ordered, but the fortified suits are like one size fits all. Not too surprising that they had enough spares in the fortress. All cadets long to wear these black uniforms and fortified suits. They're proof you are the bona fide surface pilot. So it is kind of disappointing that we still have to wear their old ones now, even though we've already been
候
commissioned.
補生の制服もいよいよ今日で気納めだね。白い強化装備はもう交換しちゃったしね。
Guess we finally get to retire these old cadet uniforms, eh? And we won't be seeing those white fortified suits again either.
白い強化装備やっと慣れたと思ったらあっという間でしたね。
It feels like I only got used to wearing my old one and now it's already gone.
最初は恥ずかしかったけど、慣れって恐ろしいわね。今じゃ何とも思わなくなったわ。
I remember being so embarrassed at first, but it's amazing that you can get used to. I don't think anything of it now.
自信があったから最初から平気。
I'm not self-conscious, so it never bothered me.
どういう意味かしら？
What's that supposed to mean?
まあ千鶴さん。
Let it slide, Chizuru.
正規軍では男も女もないからな。あれにならされてしまえば大概のことはもう恥ずかしくなかろう。
Gender should be nothing to a soldier after all. Given that we've grown accustomed to that, I imagine most things will feel far less embarrassing.
うん。最前線の基地じゃ寝る場所どころかトイレもお風呂も一緒だからね。
I mean, once we get stationed on the front lines, we might have to sleep together, share bathrooms, showers. I've had a black fortified suit from the very beginning, but this exchange process might be a bit of a headache. Filling out our official commissioning paperwork is an absolute nightmare. I'm pretty sure our informal promotion in the previous time was just a matter of picking up some new gear and signing off. Not to mention that despite our promotion, we all had to wear our old cadet fortified suits. Thinking back on it, Alternative 5 really did a number on this. No wonder I can get away with sneaking down a Cosme's room after Yuko left.
では続きまして
Now,
部隊について
for your new
ご説明
unit assignments. Here it comes. Pretty sure I'm gonna end up working directly under Yuko. Well, I'll be separated from the others, I'm sure. I've been training with these guys for 3 years. I mean, if you count the last timeline, and I'm gonna miss them, but I can't get sappy.
今後皆さんは国連軍の正規兵として実戦部隊に組み込まれ、多様な地域でのあらゆる作戦に従事することになります。
From now on, you'll be each assigned a combat unit as a true UN soldier, whereupon you will be sent to various missions on a variety of
この度
locations.
英士訓練学校を卒業した新任少尉は全員同一部隊に配属されることが決定
But it
し
has been decided that all recent graduates of our TSF Academy will be assigned to the same unit. Does she seriously mean that? I mean, I figured all of us recruits were going to probably be stationed at Yokohama base with the same unit? Wasn't Squad 207 left the way it was because of Alternative
皆
5?
さんは明日、つまり12月10日午前0時をもって横浜基地司令部直轄の特殊任務部隊 A01 部隊に配属となります。
Tomorrow, or rather specifically at midnight, December the 10th, you will all be inducted into the Special Task Force A01, a unit under the direct control of Yokohama Base's Command HQ. Unit A01? A Special Task Force under direct control of Command HQ? What does that mean? I didn't even know this base had a Special
ただし
Task Force.
現在 A01 部隊は作戦行動中のために基地を離れています。
However, Unit A01 is currently away on a
予定
mission.
では明日装備性能評価演習に参加することとなっておりますので、皆さんは演習の終了を待って正式配属となります。
Plan is for you to participate in their equipment evaluation exercise tomorrow. Your formal induction will have to wait. Equipment evaluation
したがって
exercise?
皆さんはこの演習に参加するために A207 小隊として
Therefore, in order to
臨時編成される
participate,
ことになりまし
you'll
た
be treated as Flight A207. We're going to be participating in exercises already?
小隊の臨時指揮官は榊少尉にお願いします。
Second Lieutenant Sakaki will be the commander of this temporary flight. Ma'am.
ここまでで何かご質問はありますか？
Any questions regarding the plan? Okay, let's see. First off,
演習の詳細を教えてください。
tell us the details. Oh, class rep beat
詳
me.
しいブリーフィングは当日行いますので、概要を説明します。
You'll be given a detailed briefing just before the exercise tomorrow, so I'll mainly
装
outline
備
it
性能
here.
評価演習は文字通り、新装備が正式採用にふさわしい能力を発揮するのかを試験するための演習です。
An equipment evaluation exercise is, as the name states, an exercise meant to test whether the new equipment is functioning well enough for its pretended
これ
use.
は光月副司令の要請で10日前、急遽計画された演習です。当初、12月8日に実施する予定でしたが、先の事件が発生し、
This particular exercise was expeditiously planned 10 days ago at the Executive Order Officer Kazuki's behest. Originally slated for December the 8th, it was postponed 2 days due to recent events. Yuko had him added to the schedule that fast, and only got postponed for 2 days? There's gotta be a reason she's rushing it.
A207 小隊が臨時編成された理由は
Wait, is this the XM3 trial
搭
arc?
載されている概念
The one that everyone really likes?
XM3 の比較試験がこの演習の目的であるからです。
No way, we legit are about to start the XM3 arc. Okay. The reason you have been temporarily designated as Flight A207 is to allow a comparative practical evaluation of the proof of concept in your TSF against the XM3. Is that the official name of the OS?
なお、これは実弾演習ではありませんので、武装はすべて演習用装備に換装します。
Also, since this isn't a live ammo exercise, your current equipment will be exchanged for practice weapons. We'll still be using our
そ
Fubukis?
の通りです。本来であれば正式機で参加していただく予定でしたが、これもまた先の事件により
That is
搬入が
correct.
遅れ
We originally planned on having you participate in non-training TSS, but as with everything, shipment delayed.
正式機の稼働まではこれまで通り吹雪にお乗りいただきます。
Until they arrive, you'll continue to use your Fubukis as 4. Moving on. I'll bet that A207 was Yuko's doing, especially if the point of this exercise is to test the new OS. But we already used it in actual combat during the coup d'etat, and everyone made it most out of it, even if we did spend most of the time on the run. So you think that would be enough to prove how effective it is? So what's the point of a comparative evaluation? Whatever, I've got a wealth of combat data accumulated now. That's what I want. Now that I have the experience, how much more will it allow me to do with the new OS? I mean, it will be kind of cool to see how we stack up against these real soldiers.
白金少尉
Lieutenant Shirogane. Oh, class rep. Feels like forever since I've been called lieutenant, even though I've had that rank for a while in the past timeline. What's up, Flight
ちょ
Commander?
っと、今さら何よ。調子狂うからいつもの委員長でいいわ。
Why so formal all of a sudden? It's weirding me out. Just call me class rep. Fine, then you do the same. I didn't even realize it was me you were talking to at first, so what's up?
ブリーフィングが終わったらすぐ出て行っちゃうから私そびれたのよ。
You ran off before briefing ended, so I didn't even get the chance to give you this. Can you really blame me? That meeting was long and
まあい
boring.
いわ。
はいこれ
Whatever, here you go. Huh? What?
見
What
て
is
の
this?
通り遺書を書くための紙と封筒よ。説明聞いてなかったの？
What do you think it is? Some paper in an envelope so you could write out your will. My will? Did we even do this last time? Can't remember
So-
writing one.
これからは常に実践だから。
Oh, nice. Writing a will. This isn't foreshadowing. After all, we're going to be in frequent combat from here on out. So they want us to write him now since we never know when we're going to die, huh?
そういうことね。
You got it. But I mean, isn't tomorrow just a practice exercise? Not even using live rounds? I mean, I guess it's not completely
そう
safe.
いうことになってるんだから仕方ないじゃない。
It's our procedure. We go along with it. I guess. What?
ちゃんと書きなさいよ。
Write your will.
私は書くわ。
I'm going to. Huh? Class rep just lost her father. Is she really in any condition to be writing a will? I mean, this is her way of coping. Sick cope. Then I guess it's fine, but
別に死ぬために書くわけじゃないから。
not that I'll die anytime soon.
いつ死
Right.
んでもいいように、出撃のたびに気持ちや身辺の整理をしておくことが、
Having your personal affairs in order means you don't have to worry as much as about dying, and that helps you remain focused on staying alive.
武士道云々の聞きかじりだけど、出撃のたびに書く遺書なんてそんなものかな。
I only know a little bit about Bushido, but I think that's the idea behind writing a will before deployed. Never thought I'd hear Class Rep talk about Bushido, but it is a relief to see that she's capable of facing up against death.
そういえば、夕食をみんなで食べたいって玉瀬が言っていたわ。顔出してね。
Oh, Tama also said she wanted us to get dinner together. Make sure you meet her there. So we're having like a commissioning party then?
まあ、そうね。
You can call it that. Maybe it's a little inconsiderate considering the situation, but it couldn't hurt to
部
celebrate.
隊配備になったら、もう今のメンバーだけで食事することもなく
I
なる
mean,
で
once
しょ
we're in our new unit, it won't just be us 6 eating together. Okay, I'll be there
また
then.
一緒の部隊になったけど、これからもよろしく。
Looks like we're still going to be in the same unit, so I hope you keep up the good work. Class Rep, you too.
じゃあ、後で。
See you later. A will, huh? Wonder if I wrote one in the previous timeline. Can't say I remember, but who would have been addressed to? Sumika? She doesn't even exist in this world. I don't have friends, I don't have relatives. Well, to be fair, I do understand why they want us to write these things. Now that we're regular soldiers, chances are we'll be sent to the front lines. Death's gonna be right at our doorstep. We could get killed tomorrow. Screw this. Class Rep may have had a point, but it's not simple enough. I'm not gonna let myself die right now no matter what. I don't have the luxury of worrying about what ifs. I'm saving humanity from extinction, end of. And after I've done all of that, I can go back to my world. I used to think I'd be content if I could just save this world. Yuko said it might be possible for me to go home. The fact of those experiments is proof that it can. I'm going home, and once I've saved this world, I'm taking care of any of my unfinished business, I'm going back to my old life. I'm living in a world with Sumika, even if I don't end up together in a way I remember. I'm going back to my old world, or I'll never be able to live my life with her again, so I'm not dying now. These guys might be able to find closure in the knowledge that their comrades can still continue the fight without them, but that's not enough for me. I admire Maya, I admire Her Highness, but I can never be them. In order to save this world, I have to go into combat and I'll climb the ranks. I'm gonna make a difference here. Which means I've got to produce some serious results. I've got to make my way up to the top brass. But in order to do that, I'm gonna have to take risks that'll make me way more likely to die than others. Why am I thinking about this now? I've got my convictions sorted out. I've been in real combat. I've lived to tell the tale. I've even recovered my theory that'll bring Alternative 4. I've proven the effectiveness of the original OS. Not to mention we got commissioned way sooner than we did in the previous timeline. I'm changing this future. So why the hell am I wimping out at the thought of writing a will? I'm not going to die a loser out there. I'm doing things no one could even do. And it won't be much longer until it pays off. I'm changing this world's future for the better. And I'm not going to get killed out there. Oh, you guys got here early. No, you're just late. You came at the last second. My apologies. I told you to cut that out. Alright, since we're all here, let's make a toast. What the hell? Is it just me or is there more food than usual? Miss Kiyosuke put this together to celebrate. We got drinks too? It's our graduation after all. I do not think anyone will resent us for indulging ourselves in moderation. Why would anyone do that? It's synthetic orange juice. This isn't even fancy enough to feel guilty about. Here, Shirogane. Oh, thank you. Ayamine? Here, Mitsurugi. Much obliged. What's gotten into her? Here. Huh? Your drink. Thank you, sorry. Well, would you look at that? Good for you, Hayamine.
何
Sorry for what?
じゃあ私も
So am I.
ありがとう。
Thank you. This really is for the best. After everything that's happened, our squad really needed this promotion, even if it was just a necessity so that Yuko and her colleagues could use us to do their bidding. It's not like we put all of our problems behind us, but at least we've moved past the gloomy atmosphere the coup left behind.
なんだかお葬式みたいだよ。
Come on, guys, what is this, a funeral?
そうだよ。せっかく任官できたんだから。
She's right. We just got commissioned. We should be excited, don't you think? After doing our best to prepare ourselves to be split up, it's kind of anticlimactic that we all ended up in the same squad again. Not that I'm complaining. I know I got pretty emotional over the will writing thing, but hey, being here with everyone else again has asked me back to my old self. I'm starting to lose that sense of borderline superiority. I guess that just goes to show how much I truly do feel like my comrades in arms. Tom was right. I've got to give everything that'll push them over the list hump. From here on out, we're not going to be dead weight. We're not going to be standing around in the rear while others fight to protect us. We've got to be able to fight the beta ourselves, and we're going to directly contribute to the survival of mankind. That's something all of us can be happy about. It's a little embarrassing that we got all sentimental just to go ahead and get plopped into the same unit again, but for that means we get to stay together, and that's fine by me. Anyway, can't say I've ever made a toast with synthetic orange juice, but what the hell? We all got our first taste of war and made it out alive. Here's to a brighter future for all of us. Hmm?
たけるくっさいセリフ。
Talker, that was cheesy.
そうね。未来に乾杯。
You can say that again. A toast to the future? Fine, that's the last time I ever gave you a motivational speech.
自分に酔ってる。白金はなる。
Wow, Shirogane, bet you think you're cool. Ayamine, you traitor, you're the one who was bawling her eyes out in front of Marimo.
ケイさん、意外だよ。
Okay, is that true?
すごく嘘。白金は目が腐ってる。
Lies, slander, he's hallucinating. You sure about that? We've got ourselves another eyewitness, Tama?
確かにそうだったような。嘘じゃなかったような。
I kind of sort of remember that. Maybe I don't. Ah, some eyewitness you are. Oh wait, I forgot. You were too busy crying. You couldn't even complete a sentence.
そういえばそうですね。
That's true.
白金、後で知って。
You died tonight,
たく
Shirogane.
このままでは拉致があかんな。僭越ながらこの私が温度を取ろう。
It never ends with you two, does it? I suppose I have no choice but to make this toast myself.
みつるぎ。
Good idea. Go for it, Mitsurugi.
では我らの門出を祝して。
Now then, a toast to our graduation.
とりあえず承認おめでとう。
First of all, congrats on promotion. Thanks, though I can't help but feel the timing was a bit too perfect.
勘違いしないで。私は特に何もしてないわ。
No, don't jump to conclusions. I didn't do anything. It was all a result of your hard work. But the person who signed off on it had to
七
be
指令。私は定例の書類を提出しただけなの。
the base CO. I did the paperwork. I don't know. Feel like doing the paperwork personally means you had a significant hand?
だいたい誰が見たって文句ない証人でしょ。総戦技演習をちゃんとクリアしているし、戦術機シミュレーターや
Besides, who's gonna say you haven't earned it? You passed every CCSE with flying colors. Your performance in basic training, TSF simulators, and mock battles has been nothing short of
その
spectacular.
上、実戦部隊でもないのに将軍救出作戦の成功に多大な貢献をした連中を訓練兵のままにしておく意味なんてあると思う？
On top of that, your squad played a huge part in making the Shogun's rescue operation a success, despite having no combat experience. Why on earth wouldn't we promote you? Basically used all those facts to make her case and convince them we needed to be promoted. Though I'm sure she left out the fact that we only did so well in the mock battles due to her new
今の
OS.
人類には優秀な人材を遊ばせておく余裕なんてないからね。
Humanity can't afford to be letting talent like yours go to waste. Well, either way, I still want to thank you. You've done a lot for me, and I've never told you how grateful I am.
やめてよ気持ち悪い。それにここからが始まりでしょ。
Spare me the rank sentimentality. We're only getting started, you know, for sure.
あんたが回収してきた理論でオルタネイティブ4の成功確率が高まった。
The theory you've recovered has exponentially increased the likelihood of alternatives for
そして
success.
あんたの発案した OS が戦術機の性能を飛躍的に向上させ
And the OS you came with has dramatically improved our
だからっ
TSFs.
てまだベータに勝ったわけじゃないわ。ここで気を緩めないことね。
But that doesn't mean we've beaten the beta. We can't afford to let up now. I know, she's right. Just because we've retrieved my theory and can complete the Unit 00 doesn't mean we've automatically won.
というわけで死に物狂いで頑張って いい結果を出しなさい。
I expect you to get work to the bone, understood? Make sure to get me some results tomorrow.
明
Tomorrow?
日の演習よ。
About the exercise. Oh, right. I wanted to ask about that. Why are you so eager to get it done? You're rushing it.
別に急いじゃいないわ。10日も待たされてイライラしたくらいよ。
I'm not eager. I'm just irritated I had to wait 10 days. Well, maybe you have different standards, but wouldn't it take more than 10 days to even make the necessary preparations? And yeah, this is right on the heels of an attempted coup. I know, and I know you postponed it, but it's only been 2 days since. You sure this doesn't have something to do with this Unit 00?
全然関係ないわよ。明日の演習は新 OS の正式採用トライ。
Totally unrelated. Tomorrow's exercise is a formal test of a new OS. Didn't Marimo tell you? No, but she said something about how our squad would be participating so they could do a comparative evaluation.
そうよ。だからトライアルで使う数機を残して基地にいるすべての戦術機にあの OS を完走しといたから。
That's right, which is why I've gone ahead and upgraded all TSFs to the new XM3 OS aside from the ones you're using. You installed it in all of them?
どうせ正式採用されるんだし、まとめてやっておいた方がいいでしょ。
It's gonna get adopted anyway. I figure we might as well get the conversion out of the way now. I guess that's
それ
true.
にもうこの先あんたの記憶は当てにできない。この前の事件みたいにいつ何が起こるかわからないんだから、できることはやれるうちにやっておくのよ。
Not to mention, we don't have your memories to rely on any longer. There's no telling when another unexpected incident might happen, so we should be taking whatever measures we can to have the chance. I guess you're right. When did you even set this up?
先月の概念実証機を使った模擬戦であんたたちが圧勝したでしょ。あれを見てその日のうちに演習をねじ込んだのよ。
Remember when your team decimated the rest of your squad during the mock battle last month? Once I witnessed that, I added this battle exercise. You're kidding, this wasn't even just a proof of concept? I didn't think we were anywhere near having finished the product.
だから私とあんたに残された時間を考えたら、
Like I
考
said,
えうる限りのことを前倒しで段取っておいて損はないって言ったでしょ。
considering how little time we have left, there's no reason not to expedite everything we can. I get that.
あんたが転移実験している間も他の子たちがずっとデータをくれていたからね。白金のデータよりむしろ参考になったわ。
While you were wrapped up in our little experiment, your squad was making lots of tasty new data. In fact, it's been more of use to me than your own.
あの OS は全世界の英士が使ってこそ意味がある。だからあんたの起動概念を肌で分かっていない連中のデータの方が役に立つのよ。
That new OS won't be worth a thing if all the other surface spies can't use it. Data from people who don't innately understand concepts it's based off is much more useful. Right, because that'll make it easier to see what still needs fixing from a user-friendliness standpoint. I can't believe how much you've done in such a short time.
オルタネイティブ計画の技術部門を甘く見てもらっちゃ困るわ。材料と的確な指示さえ与えてやれば。
Never underestimate the alternative programs engineering department. Give them the materials and specific enough instructions, then they can handle stuff like that no problem. No kidding, we may not agree on politics all the time, but the fact remains that Alternative Force Project represents a culmination of all mankind's knowledge. Last time, she just couldn't give the materials or the necessary instructions, which is why on Christmas Eve. I've been working on alongside the improvements I've been making to our transfer device, but having it delayed because of the coup d'etat really puts things back.
まあとにかくあんたたちに実装したものに比べたら最新バージョンの XM3 はかなり進化したわ。
In any case, I think you'll find this latest version of XM3 to be quite the evolution. So I take it we could expect a lot from tomorrow's exercise.
初めてのエースでも結構使いこなせるはず。そうなるように改良したんだから当然だけど。
Even a complete newbie should have no problems with it, though I suppose that's to be expected. It was the original intent. Guess that means we no longer have much of an advantage, huh?
何言ってんのよ。あんたたちの機体には実戦で得た貴重なデータがあるでしょ。
What are you talking about? Yours have all that precious data from actual combat on them. But that gets synchronized automatically by data link, right?
明日の演習は実戦経験のある OS とサラピンの OS の比較試験なのよ。
The whole point of tomorrow's exercise is to compare how well the OS performs with accumulated combat data as opposed to a clean install. You really think I'd be stupid enough to let it all sync? So it's just a matter of disconnecting our squad from everyone else so they can't access our movement control. That was a dumb question.
まあとにかくここで実績が出れば全世界の戦術機への搭載も現実味を帯びてくる。
In any case, assuming tomorrow goes off without a hitch, we'll be one step closer to putting this thing in every TSF around the globe.
OS の連続起動時間についてはとっくに記録更新済みだから、あとは目に見て分かりやすいアピールよね。
We've already broken records in terms of its maximum operational time, so now we've just got to show the world what this baby can do. Leave that to me.
そうなれば、それを欲しがる連中もうようよ湧いてくるわ。取引の材料にして時間を稼ぐもよし。
Once we do that, people will start showing up in droves and begging us for it, which means we can also buy ourselves some time as a bargaining chip. I thought we wanted to make it available right away so TSFs could start switching over. Wouldn't that give humanity a better chance?
呆れたわね。まだそんな甘ちゃんなこと言ってるの？
Not this. You haven't caught on yet? What?
この前の事件、裏の話もある程度聞いていたんじゃないの？そんな全員がはいそうですかって受け入れられるような話だった？
Didn't you hear about all the powers that played behind the scenes of that rebellion? You really think anyone would believe we gave them we give them out of the good of our hearts? No, I guess not. Oh, she's right. I know I resigned myself to deal with this, but it sucks to be held back by political nonsense.
まあいいわ。とにかく、あの OS はあんたが発案したんだから、オリジナルの強さを見せつけてやりなさい。
Whatever. In any case, that OS was your idea to begin with. Go out there and show them how tough that original is. Yes, ma'am.
逆に、負けたらものすごく格好悪いわよ。
You'd look like a buffoon if you lost this one. You don't think I don't know that?
それに、現場の連中は何であれ、新型を嫌う傾向が強いから、簡単に納得しないわよ。
You should also know that while seasoned vets may be good at what they do, they also have a tendency to hate new things, so don't expect them to accept it without a fight. They're not even going to trust their lives to some new OS that hasn't been field tested yet?
その通り。コンバットプルーフ主義偏重の連中を唖然とさせるほどの結果を残しなさい。
Exactly, which means it's your job to show these morons just how effective this thing is in combat.
新 OS がどこまでやれるのか。見ものね。
Time to see what XM3 can do. Ought to be the spectacle. Morning already? Hey, Kasumi. You're up early today.
おめでとう、少尉殿。
Congratulations, Lieutenant. Oh, thank you. Not sure why, but I don't feel very congratulated. You're not in the military, so don't worry about calling me Lieutenant. I want to sleep a little more.
さあ、イエスさあ。
Sir, yes, sir. Come on. Is it just me or is she cold? Wonder if she's upset about me getting promoted. Or maybe this is just her way of telling me to shape up and start acting like an officer. Exercise is today. Which means I'm going to be going up against surface pilots who's fought on the front lines. What's going to happen when these surface pilots with that kind of experience use the OS I came up with? What kind of results will they produce? I'm curious. And now that I've got combat experience too, I can't wait to see how I fare against
次世
them.
代 OS のトライアル。
Alright, you guys know what I'm about to do. We're going to drop it off over here at MNFL Blitz. XM3 trial.
そうです。白金少尉の考案した新 OS。
We're going to go ahead and continue this off tomorrow. The arc that apparently begins it all is going to go into effect tomorrow, you guys. I'm super tired, so I'm just going to go ahead and just end it here. I think this is a great stopping point, and we could start off the XM3 trial arc tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Hope you had a fantastic Saturday. Have a nice night, everyone. See you here tomorrow.